Hello! Today we're talking about A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. So if you somehow don't know what A Christmas Carol is about, basically there's this cranky old man named Ebenezer Scrooge who doesn't like Christmas. He gets visited by 4 spirits who help him rediscover Christmas. I liked it, so I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. I did really like it. I read it the second time this Christmas season. I actually finished it on Christmas Day at like 11 o'clock. It's a really good story. It's filled with all kinds of morals and stuff in it. And it's a classic, so you should pick it up and get it. For a Charles Dickens book, it's actually really small. And look at this edition. Isn't it a pretty edition? I mean, look at this. It's so pretty. I did get this at Barnes & Noble. That's all I have to say about this right now. If you haven't read this, then there are spoilers coming ahead, although it's a classic, so you should probably know the basic outline of the story. I'm very impressed if you haven't. But anyway, if you don't want spoilers, then you should leave now. Bye. The first thought that I have is that all of Ebenezer Scrooge's bad traits are shown in a small amount in time into the first chapter. You see that he's not particularly nice to his worker, Bob Cratchit. You see that even though he has a lot of money, he's very greedy with it. He doesn't do any charity. He doesn't let Bob Cratchit put any coals on the fire. You see him not being really nice to, like, one of his only living family members, his nephew. And then, after all that craziness happens, the door knocker is the first sight of Marley that we see as a ghost. I found his face appearing on the door knocker to be a very clever way of spooking Scrooge. And then the scene where he's looking all through his house, just to be sure, kind of spooky. It's really spooky. And then all the bells ringing, and then him hearing someone with chains walking up from the cellar all the way up to his room, and then he comes in, and then Ebenezer doesn't really believe he exists. Scrooge thinks that he's just a fragment of his imagination. He ate some bad food. And then the chains representing all his bad deeds, weighing him down, all his greediness. I found that very clever. And then, when he left, all the spooky ghosts outside, that was creepy. And then we didn't see Marley for the rest of the thing. And him warning him about the 3 ghosts, and saying they had to come at different times. What if Marley didn't exist? What if the 3 spirits came without Marley's warning? He would have been confused. What if all the ghosts came because Marley set that whole thing up? Ghost of Christmas Past, I think, showed Scrooge what he was like before and just how much he's changed. How he was treated compared to how he treats other people. Him being treated well when he was an employer compared to the way he treats Bob Cratchit. And how he was treated as a boy compared to how he treated kids in his time. It shows him how happy he was when he acted one way compared to how he was acting now. And he showed him the happiness he didn't get when he became greedy, like with Belle and her family. Then there was the Ghost of Christmas Present, which showed him people that weren't as lucky as him because he'd forgotten what it's like to be poor. And he showed that all of those people who weren't as lucky as him were still doing something for Christmas. And he showed him how fun it is to celebrate Christmas. Got all excited with his nephew's party, even though he wasn't really physically there. And he showed him a little bit of what people in his life thought about him and how people looked at him. Let him hear things that people wouldn't say to his face. And then Christmas Present brought out ignorance and want, and how he said that prisons and workhouses were filled with ignorance and want. And I liked how he kept saying things that Scrooge had said earlier in the book and showed him just how mean they were. The Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come showed Scrooge how completely unloved he was by everyone in his life. I don't think the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come even showed Scrooge his nephew. So that's pretty bad. And he showed him how unhappy his life really was and how few people liked him. I loved how I don't know that he's the one who's dead until the very end. And then he shows him the tombstone with his name on it, and it's just That was an awesome scene and kind of scary and sad all at the same time. By the end of the story, he was a completely different person. He did a complete 180 turn. All of that in these 100 pages. He was really nice to Bob Cratchit and gave him a raise. He went to his nephew's party. He gave a whole lot of money to charity. He was just a completely 100% different person. If there was an award for most character development in a book, it's this one. So that's all I gotta say about A Christmas Carol right now. If you want some more thoughts of mine, I wrote a blog post to go along with this. I'll leave a link to that down below. If you have some of your own thoughts on A Christmas Carol, please leave it down below in the comments. If you like A Christmas Carol, you can like this video, and if you want to see more book talks and more videos by me, you can subscribe to my channel. That's all I gotta say right now, so bye! Yeah!